Hello, welcome to the ProSapreneur Network. Today, I'm going to be talking about why the LLC is important, why the LLC is necessary, no matter what type of business you're engaged in or how long you've been in business. The LLC, the Limited Liability Company. Limited Liability Company. A lot of people understand that in order to go into business, they have to establish the limited liability company. But many people do not understand what limited liability company protection is, what's the purpose behind it besides just being able to say, I just started a business, I'm in business. Today we're going to explore what the limited liability company is. We're going to work to dispel some of the myths associated with whether or not you need a limited liability company if you're just starting out or if you're not making a lot of money. The limited liability company, limited liability protection, means simply that in the event that there is a claim or a lawsuit against the LLC, that your personal assets, your home, your car, your bank account, those things will not be seized and sold in order to satisfy the judgment that was rendered against the liability, the limited liability company, your business, in the event that you're unable to outright pay that judgment. When a judgment is rendered in a court of law, it's usually associated with a determination on the amount of damages that were also assessed. Those damages have to be paid from somewhere. Either the damages are going to be paid from the assets of the limited liability company, or they are going to be paid from the personal assets of that business owner. Well, that's the main reason for the limited liability company. You want to protect your personal assets from seizure and sale to satisfy the judgment. That is the main reason for the limited liability company. Along with the protections afforded by the limited liability company formation comes responsibilities. Those responsibilities, or that responsibility, is primarily that the owner of the business must maintain a separation between the personal expenses and the business expenses. There can be no mixing or commingling of expenses. You can't pay for personal expenses out of the LLC, nor should you pay for LLC expenses from the personal side without documenting those loaned proceeds to the LLC. Absolutely necessary. The documentation is what is going to help to maintain the limited liability protection. That is why when forming an LLC, after you secure your articles of organization from whatever state you chose to form your business in, that is what it is called. It's referred to as articles of organization. You are going to be given your official documents from the state in which you register your business. Once you have successfully registered the business, you must apply for an EIN number, Employment Identification Number, which is just another layer of maintaining the separation between the personal and business. You want to protect your personal assets and your personal being from business liabilities. Therefore, you do not use your personal social security number in business. It is very important to get that EIN number, as well as establish business credit. But once you get the EIN number and the articles of organization, the next move is to go and establish a business checking account. That business checking account, at a bare minimum, is going to maintain a record showing that the business expenses have been kept separate from the personal expenses. Here's why that's important. If there is a claim against the company and a lawsuit is filed against the company, again, once that judgment, if you're unsuccessful, and that judgment is rendered against the LLC, then if that judgment is not readily paid, then the person or entity that secured the judgment against the LLC can haul the LLC into court for what's called a judgment debtor examination, meaning that a judgment was rendered against the LLC owes a debt, and the person is entitled to inquire, ask questions of the owner of the LLC as to the nature and extent of the assets owned by the LLC. That's when the record keeping is going to come into play. Because if there is not ample assets in the LLC, or if the LLC owns no assets, then that person or that entity will be looking to seize on the personal assets of the LLC owner. Now, the LLC owner is going to have to demonstrate that there was a separation at all times between the personal expenses and the business expenses of the LLC. If the claimant, the person holding the judgment against the LLC, is successful in demonstrating that there was a commingling, if there was a commingling between business assets and personal assets, particularly where the business assets were used to fund personal expenses, then there is going to be commingling. More than likely, the judge is going to find that there was commingling of business and personal expenses. If there is a finding that there was a commingling between business and personal expenses, then the court may very well pierce the corporate veil of the LLC. Piercing the corporate veil of the LLC means that the owner will now be held personally liable for the payment of that judgment. The judgment debt no longer is imposed on the LLC. It is now imposed personally upon the assets of the business owner. Therefore, the LLC protection that was provided upon formation of the LLC is out the window. That's why it's so important to maintain good record keeping from the beginning. So, In conclusion, when you form your LLC, you want to immediately get an employer identification number, proceed to the bank or credit union of your choice with the articles of organization as well as your employer identification number, and establish a business checking account so that at a minimum you will be able to maintain a separation between personal expenses and business expenses for the purpose of shielding your personal assets from any business liability. If you're in the process of launching your LLC or starting your business, there's a link in the description for Northwest Registered Agents, a business formation company. We're affiliated. The Prosapreneur Network is affiliated with Northwest Registered Agents. Great customer service. They will form your LLC or your corporation in a matter of 3 days. There is no upsell. The fee for the services is only $39 plus the state fee. So if you're considering launching your business, please consider Northwest Registered Agents, and we have this link in the description.